Hello everyone, welcome to another MTR Fab video. This is going to be a nice short video. It's going to be strictly about 3D printing parts. One of the things I do as a fabricator, creator, maker, whatever you want to call it, is I have to use a lot of different processes to come up with a final end result. And what I wanted to share with you here is an example of that. It's a good example of that because I had an idea, and in about 10 hours I was able to create a solution and have a viable part in my hand for my project. So here's the issue was I needed a battery holder, or I needed two battery holders for these 7,000 milliamp hour 6S cells that we're going to use in our remote control lawnmower project. Now these batteries need to sit in a metal chassis, and I wanted to isolate them from the metal, and I had the idea that I could make a plastic tray. I went on Thingiverse, which is a website repository for 3D printed parts that other people build, and unfortunately I couldn't find anybody that had made something that would suit my needs. So you have an idea. I drew a little sketch here. It shows you roughly the dimensions of everything I want. This is the battery sitting in there. These are the pigtails, just like it's sitting right here. And you know, you can see I just measured the battery, drew a drawing, wrote out what I would need for dimensions. And I need two of them, and I'd like them to be symmetrical so I can take one and flip it and use it for the other. So this was the first print. Why I'm showing you the first one is this was what I drew up real quick. It's a good representation of what's in this hand-drawn picture. And you know, the bottom image you're seeing is right here. Top image you're seeing is right there. And the battery fits nicely in the tray. So I printed this. This one took about almost 4 hours. It was 3 hours and maybe 50 minutes. And what I realized is I wanted two. So I was going to print them overnight. And I decided that I didn't need all this material. It's you know, it doesn't need to be rugged. All this is designed to do is be taped on with double-sided tape, stuck to the floor of the metal chassis. Well, it's holding the batteries from moving around. So these holes in the bottom have always been in there, but I decided to put all these holes in. And you can see why I chose to do that is because this prints just like you see it. This perimeter here is called a raft or a brim, and the brim is on there to kind of purge material to get it started before it actually prints. Now this is a rough print. This was printed at a resolution and or a rate that was pretty quick, and it's because it doesn't need to look perfect to suit my project. So this is the second version of this, and I printed a pair of these just like you see on the print bed, and I literally copied and pasted this in post in the slicer software. So you have to have an application to draw the items, then you export the three-dimensional item, and then you have an application called a slicer, and it's going to come in and create all these three-dimensional layers for you and slice them into two-dimensional images. And then that's what the printer is doing. It's printing essentially one 2D image a layer at a time to give you what you want. Now if I had printed these squares rotated so they were square and parallel, they would have printed horribly, because each layer it would have to eventually bridge the gap over the top, if you know what I mean. And it can't print on top of nothing, so then I would have to print support material in these windows, which you would have to cut out and break after. My prints in my printer come out better if I don't use support material. So that's what I chose to do, and orienting those that way got me the result that printed nicely, and it was done. This whole thing took 7 hours and like 15 minutes, I believe, and like I said, this was closer to 4 hours just for the one. But this is an idea that I had on a Friday night, and Saturday morning I woke up and these two were in my hand. So that's how great 3D printing is. If you have a reliable printer, I use FDM, which is fused deposition modeling. There are other types of printing technologies out there. This is the kind of tried and true. These are large, pretty large items by anybody's standards. You know, they're whatever, probably 6 or 7 inches long, which is a pretty big piece to be 3D printed in-house. So. Alright, I just wanted to briefly share that with you. I think it's important to understand that when you're building stuff, that there are a variety of different ways to get something done. I could have done this some other way, manufactured it numerous different ways. But that's the way I chose, and I think it was very successful for me, and I wanted to share it. So thanks guys for watching. If you like building, you like building tips, you like seeing how I get this stuff done, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. With that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Stay well, stay up. I'm out.